My name is Raghavan Manoharan, popularly known as Mano, and I have put in 43 plus years so far, joining Ducab in 1980 June.
If you wanted to describe your experience in Ducab with 3 words, what would these 3 words be?
I would definitely confine them to memorable, enjoyable, and rewarding. We in Ducab make cables right first time and every time, and I believe the tradition continues, Abdullah. When I started in Ducab in 1980, I was a bachelor, and now I'll be retiring as a grandfather.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of Ducab podcast. Today we are going to be very happy to tell some untold stories about a certain employee who has joined us for a very long time. He has been with us for a very long time. Without further ado, I think I will allow Manosab to introduce himself.
Hi Abdullah, hi everybody in Ducab. My name is Raghavan Manoharan, popularly known as Mano, and I have put in 43 plus years so far, joining Ducab in 1980 June.
Manosab, how did you start in Ducab? How was your starting journey?
I joined Ducab in June 1980. At those time, the remote area of Ducab was so prominent. I mean, nobody knew where Ducab is. I can recollect my first trip to Ducab from Dubai, taking a sharing taxi to come for the interview, paying 7 dirhams to reach Dubai. And when that only taxis coming where to Dubai, Jebel Ali Port. Jebel Ali Port was the only known area at that time. When I came down to Dubai, there was a single bay, shed of Ducab, and a small administrative office. Well, I had an interview, and believe me, those time it was just quiet area. It's such a remote area. I gave my interview at that time, and then I had to wait at least next 2 weeks because the communication at that time, believe me, there was no mobiles, no other communication, only postal letters. So I had to wait the postal letter to reach me to say that I have been appointed.
So it was a stressful time to wait.
2 weeks
2
of
weeks
wait.
waiting.
You don't know. The only thing is that, I was told, okay, after the interview, you go back, we will contact you in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. That's
nice. The way I started. And when we started, then I joined in June 1980. When I started, actually, Abdullah, we had around 80 odd people working. As I said, all male. Majority were all shop floor people, 70 of them, and only 10 in the office-based staff. It was really a close-knit family at that time. It is a very small family. The only transport was staff bus of 12-seater. There was no shift bus. Everybody was based in the accommodation. There is no shift bus. Mm-hmm. And the only transport was the 12-seater bus. Now, the fun of the 12-seater bus, the driver will drop us and go back to Dubai port or Jebel Ali port to pick the container for some of those required for the manufacturing facilities. Mm-hmm. If we get stuck there, we are at the mercy of getting a free ride from the main road, which is, just walk across where we take the access. You put your hand down and you get a ride. Believe me, those days, people were much kind. The sales in the beginning of 1980 was just 30 million, which is, I would say in today's term, 1 or 2 days sale, 30 million. Roughly around 2,000 tons in your way of saying 2,000 tons. Yeah. Just imagine. And the company at that time, we had an head office in London because Ducab was started as a joint venture between government of Dubai and a BICC, a worldwide cable maker who had manufacturing units everywhere. So we had a tie-up with the government of. So we had a tie-up with the British company. So that's the way we started, and that time the management was completely by the BICC, the government of Dubai. Though a shareholder kept a silent partner, letting the British management to manage the company and transfer the knowledge, which took some time because initially when Ducab started, just imagine in the 80s, we are the few manufacturing companies in the area. The construction was booming, but the people were hesitant to use the local product because everybody preferred the international product. And it was a challenging time. And Ducab, with the use of BICC as a partner, were able to penetrate and slowly succeed. From the 30 million sale, we slowly started gaining momentum. And I still remember in 1988, when we touched 100 million, believe me, 100 million, we were dancing in the main, in front of the factory premises, just dancing because that was 100 million. Now you say, now it is less than a week. So you can see the leap we have taken from that. At those times, apart from the landlines, the only modem of communication with even quotations, orders were all through telex. Have you heard of telex? No, the telex is.
I have some info with the telex.
I mean, telex is, the telex was the only communication for faster communication with the external world. And the Etisalat used to charge per minute. So you need to be accurate and fast. Yeah, so, believe me, in those days, just imagine the communication we are in today, in the best position of digital marvels. I think in late 90s, the Abu Dhabi government got into us, and then BICC exited. And that's the time we started, moving much quicker. The pace gained when we became the local company, to be honest, because, with the both support of the strong shareholders, then the pace of the business has gained momentarily.
From your perspective, Manusab, just to come back to the personal touch on it, if you wanted to describe your experience in Ducab with 3 words, what would these 3 words be?
I would definitely confine them to memorable, enjoyable, and rewarding. The memories of the last 40 years is definitely memorable, and I enjoyed even now, enjoying the work culture. It has been rewarding both professionally as well as personally.
Definitely.
I think I would sum it as 3.
I mean, these are 3 nice, strong words, as I said, Diani. And starting, let's say, when you started in the 80s, you started as a part of the team, of the admin assistant team, and then currently where you are now as the office manager and the person responsible and the manager for the entire administration department in Ducab Group. I mean, it's definitely a long journey, and it's definitely something that's very sort of, as you said, remarkable. We go back on the memory side. So from the time you started until when there was only 80 people, and now we're about 1,500 people. In that journey, what are the most sort of heart-touching memories that you have?
I think, to begin with, from the early days, I mean, Ducab always took care of the people. We had our own canteen run by our own people. And one of the security in charge was tasked to go to the market to get the groceries on a weekly basis. Just imagine.
Fully self-independent.
Self-dependent. When we, then when the number grew up, then we thought, let us concentrate what we are good at, cable making, and let's source the others into. So that's the way we let go the canteen.
We're also good at Tuesday biryanis,
Yeah, I know.
Tuesday biryani is a fixed item.
I know. All were based in Jebel Ali, and transport was difficult. And what the company has done, on every week, again, the Tuesday has an importance day. On the middle of Tuesday, just look at the care part of Ducab. That at that time also we took the pain to bring a doctor and a nurse here to look after the boys. I think that's really...
No, I mean, that's a very nice, touching sort of, let's say, attribute from the company.
Me
We're
too.
always very proud, and we always completely say that same statement, which is that our assets are not our machinery, our assets are our people. So,
That's right.
So it's always nice that the company looks after the people and sees how and sort of oversees how they can improve their well-being, etc. During your time in the company, any sort of nice stories where maybe, or you have known of certain stories where people were sort of cheeky in the company? The ethics of work was a different level.
Very different. Even the supporting each other, the colleagues, which really touched me. Even I had a younger brother who had medical conditions, which required some, plasma, the plasma blood,
Yes.
which required more blood. So he was in Dubai hospital, and the blood bank said, you need some guys, volunteers to give the blood. I had a few friends in town, and then, of course, that was not sufficient. Then I came to Ducab. By word of mouth, I just said, I need some colleagues to support. Believe me, the line was so big. The blood bank asked, please stop people coming in. That's the kind of support I got from Ducab colleagues, and which really touches,
I mean, there's a lot of sort of like nice, touching kind of
absolutely
stories where our colleagues are always frontline sort of respondents to a lot of different requirements, be it blood, be it certain support in marriages, support in a lot of things. Any
even my children, they are all born and brought up here. They still say Ducab is the best ambassador. When they used to be young, they used to come here for Christmas, New Year, Diwali, and they used to see a lot of family friends here and then enjoying and getting some small goodies, which really made a very good impression on their mind. Even still, they remember Ducab as an excellent way. And now, I am also a member of Ducab Veterans Group, which is in India.
Yes.
Now it's a sort of 100 plus people based in Canada, US, Australia, and everywhere. We met so far twice. Believe me, those people after leaving Ducab joined many other companies. They still remember Ducab's with so fond memories, saying the culture in Ducab, the work environment was so different. And it gives me a lot of pride to say that, that I am still a part of that culture.
You are, and you will always be, Manusab. You are a very key pillar to the Ducab culture. I mean, you've been here for 43 years. I mean, you started at a status, and now you are at a different status. So.
I know. I think, to be honest, when I started in Ducab in 1980, I was a bachelor. The head was little populated, not empty,
more hair, yeah.
Not empty like now. I was a bachelor, and now I'll be retiring as a grandfather. And I think I keep saying to the youngsters, if you do whatever you are doing in an enjoyable way, the contribution and result would be much different. And then because look at your life, you spend most of your time in workplace. If you start enjoying what you are doing, the result will enhance Ducab's growth and profitability. And definitely in the process, you also get noticed, and which has been in my case. I keep saying that enjoy what you are doing and the result will come. I keep saying that to the youngsters, even my children, that you enjoy what you are doing.
I know you said that to me when I was here, so it's not a secret. It's something that you have always provided, and I mean, on behalf of the company, I think I'm thankful to always having you around for advice, for a lot of wisdom, sort of attributes that you have passed on to a lot of people. From the perspective of the company's celebrations, I mean, you've definitely experienced, and God give you health and power, experienced a lot of these celebrations.
Yeah.
Any specific sort of strong ones other than the 1 billion mark?
No. I think, the anniversaries, we started from the day one, actually. We used to have an anniversary function, the dinner with everyone, with all the family. The anniversary dinner was the biggest calendar event in the management and as well as the employees. Everybody gathered in that football area, and all the family used to come and enjoy thoroughly. We had sporting days. Even day one, we had an excellent football team, in 80s, which used to represent Ducab in other tournaments in town. And, that's the kind of employee engagement at that time also. So we had, these are the lot of celebratory events from day one.
Manusab, can you share with us some traditional Ducab moments?
Of course, Abdullah, in the earlier years, the factory and office people used to have a lot of interactions, and we used to walk down to the shop floor very frequently. And the common slogan at that time was, we in Ducab make cables right first time and every time. And I believe the tradition continues, Abdullah.
Tradition continues and it's better, Manusab, don't worry. Manusab, 43 years is a long time, and once again, I thank you very much for all the good things that you have put here. And one way or another, I mean, your story starting as a bachelor, moving as a grandfather, I mean, these are amazing stories. If you wanted to conclude by passing a message for the generations to come, other than to adapt change and to work in an enjoyable way, if you wanted to conclude with a message, what would that be? Mm-hmm.
We are all privileged to be in a place where everybody would love to be. So take advantage of it and move on.
And there's a lot of opportunities.
There are a lot of opportunities.
So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our stories, and please tune in for the next coming shows. Have a nice day.